if you look at the election that's coming up, how big a role will this big shift in AI capability over the last few months, which will obviously continue through the next year, how big an impact is this going to play, do you think, in the messaging and the way that people get told the different pitches of the candidates?
I think that's something we need to be on the lookout for in a big way, is to make sure that we're minimizing the impact of AI manipulation. We're certainly very much taking that seriously at X Twitter, X/Twitter, and I think we're putting in place all of the protections to minimize and certainly detect when we see large-scale manipulation of the system.
How concerned are you about that as a business person, and a lot of people in this room have business in China, about that getting very, very difficult for a Western business?
Well, there is fundamentally an issue that's coming to a head with Taiwan, and it's unclear when exactly push will come to shove, but it seems that there's a good chance push will come to shove. It's trending in that direction. I dread to think what they would happen. The results would be for the global economy would be absolutely catastrophic. But China has been very clear about its goals on China, and including Taiwan as part of China. So one does not need to read between the lines. One can simply read the lines. Succession is one of the toughest age-old problems. It's plagued countries, kings, prime ministers, and presidents and CEOs for since the dawn of history. There is no obvious solution. I mean, there are particular individuals identified as that I've told the board, look, if something happens to me unexpectedly, this is my recommendation for taking over. So in all cases, the board is aware of who my recommendation is, which they may choose to. It's up to them, of course. They may choose to go a different direction, but there is in the worst case scenario, this is who should run the company. The control question is a much tougher question, and something that I'm wrestling with, and I'm frankly open to ideas, because it certainly is true that the companies that I have created and are creating collectively possess immense capability, and so the stewardship of them is incredibly important. I want to make sure that the stewardship is ultimately accrues to the benefit of humanity. That's the idea, is the furtherance of civilization. Not that we're always successful in that, but that is aspirationally our goal.
Which is the most exciting country to build a Tesla plant in right now?
Well, we did make an announcement that Mexico would be our next location outside the U.S. And picked a site and everything. So there's that, and then we'll probably pick another location towards the end of this year.